Hello and welcome to the Speakeasy. I'm your barkeeper, Jeff Belanger, and tonight we're drinking tea. No problem if you've had the kind of day where maybe you need something stronger. There's no judgment here in the Speakeasy. All are welcome. But hey, please share this page and like the page so people don't miss any of these. We've been doing the Speakeasy Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a time for us to get together and feel social. So I know a lot of us are wondering what we can do to better ourselves during this whole lockdown thing. Maybe it's home projects. Maybe you're learning some arts and crafts, taking up an old hobby. Maybe it's health and fitness, whatever. It's all good. But one thing that's always good for you, always, is getting exposed to some culture and some new music. And that stuff feeds your soul no matter what's going on in the world. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm really excited to bring you a guest that I've known for a while, and I know he stirs my soul. His music is amazing, and you're going to hear some of that music. You're going to hear it performed, and we're going to talk about Native American life and the culture. So please welcome the tribal chief of the Pocasset Wampanoag Tribe of the Pokanoket Nation, and from the Eastern Medicine Singers, Chief Daryl Black Eagle Jamieson. Chief.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going, brother?
Good, man. Thank you for being here. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for being in quarantine with us.
Yes, absolutely. We got to have some fun here tonight.
Absolutely. And so lots of people checking in. If you're watching, say hello. You can type your name in, say where you're from, say what you're drinking. Look at this is John. John's always drinking sweet tea, and it's John's birthday today. I knew that because he said so yesterday. So happy birthday, John.
Happy
Great to have
birthday.
you here. And what are you drinking, Chief?
I got my peppermint tea here in my mug, and I'll tell you what, it's good. It's a good day for it.
Good. I know. Yeah, it's so warm. So people who don't know, you're in Northern Rhode Island, not very far from me. And we've had the chance to work together on a couple of strange projects, which we'll talk about, TV projects. And I've had the chance to see you perform 3-4 times now, maybe?
Yeah.
At various things. And it's always such a treat. Can you just tell me first, I mean, I'm going to put up a graphic because I would like you to walk us through this. This is your group, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us like how this falls into the big picture of New England, of the Native American groups and so on?
Okay, so the Pocasset Tribe is a part of the Pokanoket Wampanoag Nation. We are one of the many tribes that are still around today. The Pocasset is originally from Rhode Island and Massachusetts. At the time of contact, it was all Mass Bay Colony. So
right,
our land stretched almost to Middleborough and into Tiverton, Rhode Island, if you're looking at Rhode Island. So
sure.
And today we still have our reservation down in Fall River and some newly acquired land and a deal recently that happened with Twin Rivers Casino.
Oh, all right. And so tell me about your own heritage, like growing up, when were you exposed to some of your Native American culture and things like that?
I grew up in central Massachusetts in Shrewsbury. Beautiful town, a lot of great friends there. And, when I was a kid, my grandfather, who was from Rhode Island, always told us about our culture, and as well as my father and mother. My father used to take us pretty much every year since I was a young boy to this one powwow that was in central Massachusetts. It was the Nipmuc powwow at Hassanemisset. And
sure.
My grandmother was actually friends with one of the council members there, one of the Wilcox family, and we were great friends, me and my brothers, with the boys, Michael and also Shelley Wilcox. And so we used to go to that powwow every year, and that was our good dose of getting out there in the circle and dancing around and finding out what the culture was like. And, of course, we loved it.
Yeah.
We look forward to that. It was a yearly powwow, and it's still going on. We still go to it. And in fact, now we play at it. So.
Okay, speaking of playing, so people, I want to get to this quickly, and then we're going to talk after. You guys got to perform in October of 2017 at the Providence TEDx event, and we're going to play that video for you guys right now. It's about 6.5 minutes or so, but man, worth watching because you're going to get it. Watch this, then you're going to get what we're talking about. So let's give this a watch, and we'll talk to you on the other side. All right, ready? Give me a minute because this is clunky. All right, there we go. All right. So that's amazing. And so people don't fully understand when you're there in person, when you see that live, that drum hits through your body, right? Like I can't imagine being next to it on stage, but I can tell you from the audience, it goes right through you like you're at an AC/DC concert, right? Like,
oh, it does. It really does.
It's awesome, and it's so powerful, and then the music that comes in, like I get it. I don't understand the words, and that's one of the things I'd like to ask you. Like, tell me about the language that you're speaking. It's an Algonquin language, right?
Yes. That it's the Algonquin language, and it's the Massachusetts dialect, which was taken from the Natick Bible, which was translated by the Natick Praying Indians back in the early 600s with John Eliot. So that is the language pretty much that's left of all the nations here. So we're all using that because it's a traditional tongue in this area, and it's great that we even have so much information from that. So we're able to translate those words into songs. That particular song, Aniski Tumpawag, means all tribes are welcome. So it's a song that I wrote, and that I wanted to have a welcome song for our tribe and for the other Algonquin tribes here, when we start a powwow off. And what better than to invite everybody of all nations into the circle with us.
Yeah, and you usually open with that song, right? That's usually
yeah. We usually, like, there's a few songs that we use. We have a grand entry, flag song, and then we, of course, at that point, after we go through the specifics, then we invite everybody into the circle with that song. So it's one of the beginning songs of the powwow.
We're going to be playing more music, just so everybody knows. There'll be more. That's not the last taste of it. But I wanted people to see it early on, because if you've never experienced it, you're like, okay, guys drumming and chanting. Like, no, it's bigger than that. It really is. It's something special. And it's what I love about it is that, I mean, you could get on a stage and you could lecture about your culture, but I don't think you'd connect anything like you do when you play it through the music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, the music, and you can feel it, like being a drummer. I mean, when you're playing, that power is going right through your whole body. I mean, your arms, everything, your chest, you feel it, and it really, it reflects back into you, the energy, and then the energy of the people. I mean, even in that video, I mean, you heard the crowd. I don't know how many thousands of people were out there, because it was so dark. I didn't even want to look, but
right.
But you know, when you hear everybody clapping and everything, you look and you see people standing up. I mean, it's great. You know, it's great. And
it's just, I mean, you guys probably don't know this because you're not on the audience side. I have been. I was at some outdoor venue and you guys were about to go on, and everybody sort of leans in like, am I going to be able to hear this? Right? They're leaning in, and then boom, right? Everybody's like, whoa, right?
Exactly.
This is a rock concert. It's amazing, you know?
And that drum is powerful. I mean, that is a powerful drum. So
yeah, it's huge. It's totally great. And and so I love that. And you guys, between your songs, you're telling stories and you're talking about what they mean. And so it's not just here's music, it's here's the story behind it. Now you're writing a lot of these songs, right?
Yes. I write a lot of these songs, as well as Ray Tulock's on the drum. Ray writes some songs as well. And you know, it's a lot of work because I got to translate it first, and then find a melody and a sound, you know, and a beat to fit the song, because these are not easy words. The Algonquin language, it's very long, and so you really got to sit and work with it for a while to create that kind of music.
And I love, like I said, what better way to preserve it than to keep talking about it. Now you guys you've toured the world. I mean, you were over in Europe, like performing and things like that, right?
Yes. In 2017, I believe it was 2018. I'm sorry. We went to go play at South by Southwest in a project with the Providence Equity Association that Ray Watson had started. And so when we went down there, we met this gentleman. He kept watching us play. We was playing in Austin. And then he came over and he was talking to us. He says, "Oh man, I love that vibe." And you know, he went over to Ray and asked Ray. He says, "Hey, what would you think about playing with us?" And so Ray came out to me and he goes, "Well, we want to try with them." I go, "What do they play?" He says, "Well, they're kind of like they're from the Mediterranean. They're a rock band." I go, "Oh, come on, I don't think so."
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to do that? You know, I don't want to mess up anybody's shows. And he's like, you know, he's told the guy, and he came out, he goes, no. Listen, it would be an honor to have an Eastern Algonquin drum, you know, background beats and everything. So I said, all right, we'll try it. So we went out there and we played. And I mean, it was like magical. I mean, they played the right beat and we had the right tribal beat in the background, and people were just screaming. They were going out of their minds. So, you know, we walked off and we're like, okay, that was pretty cool. And we walked out. And so we went back to set up our drum at our location, and he came running out and he goes, "The crowd's going crazy. You're going to come back in." So I was like, all right. So we ran back in and we played another song with him. And I mean, it was magical. So we became friends and everything. And when we went back home and we got the write-up, we were like one of the top acts, you know, at South by Southwest. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And a new thing was born, you know?
Yeah. And I know, so you guys have performed, I forget which festival it was in downtown Providence, but you're not opposed to having like a guitar sit in with you or whatever. Like, I mean, music is music, right? That really is this language that crosses all barriers. Like a beat's a beat, man. Melody's a melody in any language.
It is. And I think part of the thing is that, of course, we have our traditional stuff and we don't cross it with that. But a lot of this is like a new collaboration fusion. And I think what my main objective was to bring out the Eastern Algonquin culture and show everybody that it's just as beautiful as the other cultures, and we can put it together and make something beautiful. And I mean, we have just done so many different collaborations at Providence PBD, also the Blackstone River Theater. They have a summer solstice festival that Russell Gassetti runs.
Yeah, I know Russ. Yeah,
Cumberland. Yep, we're great people. And we talked one time, and we ended up talking, and we opened up for the festival every year since. And we met so many great musicians, and we've done some really cool collaborations with everybody. So just fantastic, great power coming out with all the musicians together.
Yeah, you got a lot of fans here tonight, Chief Black Eagle. You got people showing their support. We all appreciate that. You did have a question. Let me find it. Here's so is the eagle in your name? Is it saved for Chief, or like, can you tell us where the Black Eagle part comes from?
That was given to me by I was actually named later in life by an elder, and no, it's not reserved for a chief. I'm a clan chief. I'm part of I'm one of the clans in the tribe, and there are many in the different tribes, and my job's to watch over the clan of my people, my specific family. But Eagle, Black Eagle, it's a kind of a name that was given to me because of the way that I act, because I'm a veteran as well, and there's a lot of different reasons why he gave me that name, but I've tried to wear it well over the years.
You have, and I can tell you're not only an ambassador for your music, but for your culture as well. Folks, this guy is so approachable. If you see him at an event and like you just came off stage and like you talk to everybody, like anybody walks up, like you talk to everybody. And I mean, I remember one of the summer solstice festivals where I saw you, and there's this summer solstice festival is across the board. There's little kids doing dances, you guys, there's everything. And it was just a line of people waiting to talk to you because especially after they see you play. And, and that's, and you're just so gracious with everybody, and it goes a long way, right? I mean, you guys have 5 CDs out now, right?
5, yeah.
5. And still making new music. Suzette made a comment here that she didn't think that of course new songs are being written, right? Like if you don't write new songs, then it dies.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
yeah, you have to keep it going. I mean, there's still old traditional songs and songs that were around before me that we play at the powwows and things, but we still have to keep new music going because people want a different thing to dance to. So we got to keep them. And all the drums do that. I mean, there's different types of styles of American Indian music. I mean, for instance, we're an Eastern drum, so we play differently than, the Lakota and the tribes out there, Northern Plains style. They play a different type. And then you have the Southern, the Southern style drums. So, a lot of people don't even know that there are different types of music and sounds, even in the American Indian world. And, we're one of the sounds in the Eastern sound, the way it would sound here.
Well, that makes all the sense in the world. If you think about just think about Europe, which is much smaller than America. French music sounds different than German music, and they're pretty close, right? Like that's not that far to drive, right? And Russian music sounds different than British music and Irish music. And so if all that could easily fit between Massachusetts and California, right? And so you got a great distance. Yeah. So it makes sense that there would be different influences and, different beats. I get it. No, very cool. So now when you guys go up there, you're in paint. I'm going to show you, tell us about this. Tell us about this particular, this is war paint, right?
Yeah. This actually was, we were actually in Austria doing this show. And it was a show with our counterpart in collaboration with Yonatan Gat, who's from Israel. And so most of those people have never, ever seen an Eastern Algonquin Indian. So we went out there. We wanted to show them, we wear the complete skins and everything, old style, old traditional. And of course, with the paint, it just adds a little bit of the reality of the Eastern people to it. So we got out there and I said, it's a great idea to come out in in war paint and let everybody see and actually realize exactly how scary we were when people landed on this continent.
I can't imagine anybody's going to be mugging you.
That's definitely a good mugshot right there.
Right? Yeah. Like you see that coming down the street, and you're like, "Yeah, no, not going to mug him."
And I'm not a little guy either, so that makes it even worse.
No, but I think but that's part of it, right? I mean, and that's got to be part of it for getting into the music for you, isn't it? I mean, it's like, I think it's the difference between like a rehearsal in your basement and a performance, right? Like, you give it some energy in your basement, but it's not the same as when you got the paint on, when the crowd's out there and you're ready. Right?
They're screaming. I mean, Austria, I mean, was like a fantastic venue. I mean, we went across Europe. I mean, I loved it. I would love to go back again. I don't know when they lift all these travel bans, but we actually were booked to go to, we were starting off a tour with Jonathan in Poland, Lublin, Poland. So,
and how amazing is that? You're sharing music and culture that would have never, ever made it over there 300-400 years ago. It was just impossible.
Exactly. And just an amazing experience to be able to do that, to traveling and meeting people. I mean, we met a group from Norway, and they played like a Viking Scandinavian rock, and they were fantastic. They were, we ended up being friends and everything, and hopefully we're either going to get them over here to perform with us, or we're going to go over there.
Yeah.
And, just the sounds, together of the music. Fantastic,
Speaking of music, I think we should listen to some more. This is a song you wrote. We're going to share this now, and let's talk about it on the other side. Again, give me a second, because we're trying to make stuff fit here. Ready? All right.
Manta permune, Isak woni, Quaqueo, Quiriamuk, Winchini un manachar, Quaqueo, Tubadini wayan, Ni wuchi wam ni tampag, Quaqueo, Quaqueo, Ique wampeo, Manta permune, Isak wonigen, Quaqueo, Quirianamo, Winchini un manachar, Quaqueo, Tubadi ni wayan, Ni wuchi wam ni tampag, Quaqueo, Quaqueo, Ique wampeo, Quanta permune, Isak wonigen, Quaqueo, Quirianamo, Winchini un manachar, Quaqueo, Tubadi ni wayan, Ni wuchi wam ni tampag, Quaqueo, Quaqueo, Ique wampeo, Manta permune, Isak wonigen, Quaqueo, Quirianamo, chini umana jar, kwe oh. Gabadi ni wayam, ni wuchi wam ni tampa, kwe oh. Kwe oh. We kwe wampe oh.
Nice. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I love that song.
Are you writing a lot of music right now since we're all locked in?
Yeah. I actually just released my own new personal one I call the Black Eagle production freestyle. And I have a combination of music on there. I tried some spoken word, more or less a story. With background beats in it, which was pretty cool. And then I did a collaboration with a friend of mine, Sylvie Lee, she plays the Gouda, and we did some just instrumental, like meditational music for people to just relax to. And my God, it was just it's a beautiful CD. I just put that out, and then we just released about a month ago the Eastern Medicine Singer's newest one, Tribal Echoes of the Past. And I mean, amazing. We the studio work was done by Triad in Warren, Rhode Island. Fantastic group of guys over there. I mean, they made the album sound beautiful, great engineering work and stuff. So, I mean, we've been really burning it up.
Yeah.
And we do have actually we've been working with Yonatan Gata, and it's kind of a universal type of music, and there's been different types of American Indians that have contributed to this, and I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's going to be fantastic. I mean, we have people from all natives from different places that have recorded music in this, and I got to take my hat off to Yonatan. Great musician, great guy.
Yeah, and like I said, just the preservation of this music, the stories, right? I think they have such impact. The Native Americans, I mean, historically in this country, have been discarded, destroyed, pushed aside, mocked, turned into mascots for sports teams. Like, it's not a great story when you look at it. And what I love about it is, like, I mean, there's no denying that, but yet you guys present the beauty of it. And like, this is the best of it. Right. And how do you come to grips with that? How do you come to grips with, we teach our kids about Thanksgiving and then we don't teach them what happened just a couple decades later,
right. And
we just stop.
I mean,
yeah,
unfortunately, the way that history is, they don't teach all the things that happen in between. And now, I mean, if you take like the poor Navajo Nation, they're experiencing a tremendous hardship down there with the COVID, and they don't have the supplies to take care of it, and a lot of other native tribes are suffering as well. And this has been going on forever, even, here in the East. Tribes are, smaller reservations here than out west, but nonetheless, going through hard times. So, and seeing all these things, I think some of it actually, it's almost like the blues. You're expressing your feelings and everything when you're writing the new music, and the old music is the traditions from the past.
Yeah.
And,
so
it's moving to sing it, to write it, to hear it, and then to see people enjoy it. It's I don't know, and I never even thought that I would be doing this, but here I am.
Yeah.
And having fun.
Some things are a calling, though, aren't they? I mean, it's you choose some occupations, and sometimes the muse hits you, and you don't have a choice. And I believe that, like, I mean, this is probably like part exorcism for you, right? I mean, it's got to come out.
Yeah, it's got to come out,
Yeah.
and it's like all the guys that drum with me and everything, all fantastic people, and didn't know the language. I had the opportunity to teach everybody and to get everybody in sync, and it's a lot of work, but every one of them has done a bang up, fantastic job. I mean, we have some drummers that they cannot drum; their circumstances changed,
Mhm.
can't drum with us anymore, but they're still Eastern medicine singers, and
Sure.
they'll carry that with them forever. There's no greater accomplishment than learning a language like that and being able to go out and teach people, regardless of whether you're still in the group or not, but to teach people that your culture,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most rewarding thing, that and seeing the children, enjoy it and dance to it,
Yeah.
So,
And you've got young kids. I've seen them dancing at some of your shows, right?
yeah.
So you're getting them in on it.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
dancing since they were little babies, and now they're growing up. I mean, my daughter's 20, going to be 21. My son's going to be 17, one
Right.
in college, one at home, still in high school. And then I have two older daughters that are off doing their thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Play some Drake. Play some Drake.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my God. But
Felt like
it's been rewarding, and meeting with all the other musicians. I mean,
yeah.
we had a couple of tours with a group called Kudu, which is Black Dog in Gaelic, and these guys, fantastic people, Scottish bagpipes, warrior drums. When we did a release together, and it was oh my God, it's called War Pipe. If you ever get a chance to look at it,
Okay.
fantastic, and really warrior heavy style with the combination of our drums and theirs, and then the booming bagpipes in the background. Just amazing collaboration.
I'll bet. So we have a question for you from Joe. What term do you prefer? Native American, American Indian? I know in this PC world we can all get confused. What's your preference?
Oh, I mean, I like American Indians. We were here first,
Sure.
A Native American could mean anybody that was born here, but an American Indian is, he was the first person to be here. So I kind of like American Indian myself,
And it's hard too, because as we were saying earlier, how different like Southwest Indian music is compared to New England music, because like that would be, I mean, it's like, I guess, calling everybody Europeans, even though you're from Poland or England or wherever, right? I mean,
right.
I get that we want to come up with blanket terms, but it doesn't fit usually. Like it's, but if you need one, I guess American Indian it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much covers everybody, and of course, South American Indians and American Indians as well.
Of course. Yeah, right. The Mayan, the Incan, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we traveled, our people went all over the world and traveled back and forth. So, it's just amazing what our people have done and how they've survived and kept the music alive despite all the hardships they've had.
Yeah, I agree. One of the first projects we got together on, Daryl, I was working on a TV show in England called Access All Areas. And one of the things, they were doing this thing on the Bridgewater Triangle, which is, for those who don't know, it's this area of southeastern Massachusetts. All these strange mysteries go on there. But the point that we wanted to make is that there's a war that took place in that region that so many people have never even heard of, called the King Philip's War. And this was the bloodiest conflict per capita in British or U.S. history, even today. More than World War II, more than all of them. Per capita, meaning the largest percentage of people were wiped out compared to any other war. And no one knows it. We know it because of where we live, right? And we know it because we study it. But ask a kid in New York State, have you heard of the King Philip's War? No, haven't heard of it. And so the project we were working on, I said, man, I know this guy we should talk to, and called you up. The surrender, and I want to get it right. I wrote it down. Forgive me for cheating and looking at my notes. August, yeah. So August 28th, 1676 is the official surrender of the King Philip's War, and it happened at Anawan Rock in modern day Rehoboth. It's a rock. And thankfully, the a historical society years ago decided to just put a little carve out in the road and put up a sign saying this is Anawan Rock, because otherwise it'd be lost. You'd just drive by it. And we got to go out there, and I said, Chief Black Eagle, what can we do? And you said, well, we could bring the whole Eastern medicine singers to go there and perform. And I went, no way, right?
That was awesome.
You couldn't have. So the parking area is so small, and we took up all of it, right?
Yeah,
like,
you did.
if you had a bicycle, you couldn't have parked there. You couldn't have added the bike. And so you guys go and you set up. I'm going to show a still picture here. So check that out. That's Chief Black Eagle. That's some of the Eastern medicine singers at Anawan Rock, behind the opposite side of the highway there. And you guys set up, and we're helping you carry your stuff. And I remember these British producers are looking around like, well, what's going to happen? Right. and then you were like, we got this. you just put on your seatbelt and hold on.
That's it.
And you you hit the drum, and the way it echoed and reverberated off that rock out into the forest. Whoa. I mean, there was a handful of us that got to see it. I mean, there was you guys and four of us maybe.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then, well, thankfully it aired on television, but television could not do that justice.
Oh, no.
To be a part. What was that like for you to be at Anawan Rock, a place that's like significant and sacred, performing that music?
Oh, I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, and you felt like you belonged there.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, that was my grandfather was 11th generation grandfather was Massasoit, and that's it's my family. So it was magical. Magical day for us. Beautiful day, and great sharing all the history and everything. And I remember I had to crawl up there. I had just come out of surgery and made it up there with my walker, if you remember.
I do, because we were all helping. We're like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's a hike. Like, you got to hike into the woods to get there.
Yeah.
There's no conveyor belt or anything. And you made it. And it was, and it was so worth it. If I could, I want to play the clip I got. Now, I apologize. I filmed this with my phone. We had real cameras on this. We had real everything, but I just wanted to get a little bit of it. So this is a taste. It doesn't do it justice, but let's take a listen to 30 seconds of this at Anawan Rock.
Awesome.
Whoops, that was awesome.
That bring me back.
Yeah, and I mean the first. I remember watching the producer. This, they're from England, and you guys are finally all set up, and they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And when that drum hit, and it almost knocked them all over, they're like, "Roll, film, record, everything, get it all going." If you don't have a camera in your hands, get one now, and they were trying to capture that from every angle. And it was it was so incredible to see and to hear and experience. There's a picture. I took that picture. That was just, again, with my phone.
Yeah, that's a beautiful picture, though. That came out nice.
But I'll send it to you. That was special, man. That was special to be there. And I'm glad the folks in England, the show never aired in the United States, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was, it was seen over there. And I had Fran, the host. Fran was on an earlier speakeasy. So I had her to kind of check in. She's got a kid now. Like, we're all growing up.
I know. I'm getting old. I just turned 60.
60.
Yeah.
You got plenty of music left in you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not done.
No.
Gonna keep going.
So now I know you've been going to school now for producing. Like, you're producing videos and all that stuff. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So after that accident, that surgery that I had, I mean, the VA, because I'm a vet, You know, I was still struggling with the walking and everything. So they decided that it would be good for me to go back to school and get into something new, because I've been in, you know, basically in law enforcement for a long time. And they just felt that it would be better for me to do something else after that injury. So, you know, they said, well, you know, your aptitude was for performance and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, all right, this is great. You know, I'll do music or whatever. So they're like, well, we got a good school. Go down and check it out. So I went down to New England Tech in East Greenwich. They showed me around and I was like, are you kidding me? This is beautiful. They got everything there. So I went in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm taking digital media productions. I'm on it. And I just recently graduated with my associates. And tomorrow I start, it's all online now, but I start back. I'm going to finish my graduate degree in digital media productions. But I've been doing stuff with audio and graphics and studio work and things like that. It kind of fit right into what I'm doing. So now I can do a lot of my own work right here in my own little studio and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a storyteller, and the tools available to you are music and drums and broadcasting and video and audio, and right. So like, it's just a different tool to learn how to tell the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, I just finished building a online radio station, DJ Black Eagle. It's on my webpage of Black Eagle Productions, and you know, I'm trying to stream like local unlicensed talent and get the word out there for people. You know, all these great musicians, and as I build it up, I'll get more and more people to send me their tracks, you know, and get it out there. And it's free. I'm not, you know,
right.
It's just a love of it, you know.
Yeah, no, but I think, but we live in a time now where, think about it, man. This is the campfire now, right? The campfire right here, right?
Yeah.
You got right. We're gathered around it right now. It has. I mean, it looks different, but is it really that different than centuries ago? Right? We're coming together. We're hearing stories, and we're sharing. Hey, have you heard this? Have you heard that? Do you want to hear a song? Like, it's the same function, and I think there's some real beauty in that, and especially now. Man, this virus thing has got us hunkered down and saying, well, I have to connect. Connecting is a human need. We must do it, right? Or we're not meant to live alone.
Yep.
And so we are figuring out a way, and we're doing it. We're doing it right now. We're doing it here on the Speakeasy. We're talking to each other. Man, I mean, you know, like FaceTiming and video calls. I never did them before, like 2 months ago.
Right. Me either.
I'm like, that's stupid. Yeah.
This is the new norm now.
That's right. Like, I don't want to shower to talk to you, right? I don't be like, what, right? And now I'm like, I'll shower. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that's and that's because we're doing what we got to do, and I love this, man. I love that we're finding ways and seeing the innovations out there, seeing what people are doing. And so my hope is, like, I know I'm a paranormal guy, and that's been a lot of my guests so far, but I was really hoping, you know, I want to spread some culture too, man. I've gotten to meet some really interesting folks along the way, people like you.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see some of the comments, like when we played that TEDx video, and people are like, oh, yeah, now you get it.
That's what's up, right?
That's what's up. Now you get it. Now you get it. I shower for FaceTime calls, Ron. That's what we do.
Oh, Ron. Shout out to my bro, Ron.
Oh, you know him? All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's my man over there.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a bunch in here. This is good. So how long does it take you to put a song together, especially considering the translation? Do you come up with a melody first, or what? How does it piece together?
Well, I look at the words and what I want to say, you know, and then I put it together, you know, and then it kind of like, I'll play around with it and try to get like a beat, you know, a melody in my head and everything. And then I'll put the drum to it and try to make it come to light, you know. And I've had a few that, hey, I just can't, you know, it just doesn't have that magical flow, you know. And it's like, all right, trash that. You know, I had a song that I did earlier this year. I was like, I kind of like it, but then I listened to it and I'm like, nah, I don't like it. You know, it doesn't have that that panache, that punch to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the one you played there, Niski Tumpawag. I mean, it's got a beautiful flow.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that I'm looking for. I want it to flow, and I want people to feel it, and you know, I want them to vibe and want to get up and dance, you know, and stuff. And you know, it's almost like a magic, because I may be doing nothing, then all of a sudden something comes in my head, and I'm like, geez, what the heck? And then, you know, I'll write it down, I'll put the melody down and everything, or I'll record it on my phone, and then come back later and go, oh yeah, that's gonna be, you know, like I had one that I wrote, it was an Eastern War song, and I translated it, and oh my God, the melody and everything. It was the second Eastern War that I did, and then when I played it for the guys, they're like, "Oh man, that rocks! Let's do it! Let's do it!" So you know, we banged it out. You know,
yeah.
He was feeling it. You know, and I mean, you when you feel that and you're playing it and everything, I mean, it's like you're at war. You know, you go and you can feel that pumping and everything, and it's amazing. You know,
But you just know, like, I get it, man. As I'm a writer, right? So I've written stuff that no one will ever see, because you read it and you're like, ugh.
right.
Yeah.
Away stuff in the trash. It's like,
It's sometimes you're like, oh, I think I hit that one. I think I got it. You know, I'm in the flow. I get it. And that's the thing about music, right? When you hit it right, it feels right. It feels like something you've almost heard before, and like it speaks to something deep inside. Can you tell me, and I've heard you guys describe this during your shows between songs, the name Eastern Medicine Singers. Tell me about the medicine part of the name.
So there's not a lot of Eastern music left, you know?
Right.
And so when we first started, we were drumming with somebody else, and then we were up in the Berkshires in the mountains, and we're playing at this powwow, and we decided to get another drum that was made locally by this guy. And when we hit the drum, it was myself and Adi Crippen, Red Medicine, was with me, and then I had my brother. We call him Jimi Hendrix, because he looks just like him, and he was with us originally. Kenny Black Elk, and I said, you know what? This is an Eastern drum made by an Eastern brother. Let's call our drum Eastern Medicine Singers, because we're bringing the Eastern medicine. We're not playing somebody else's. This is Eastern music, and it just felt right, and it flowed. And when I told the rest of the guys when we came back, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. We like that." You know.
And I like the part about it heals you, right? Like medicine. Today we think of medicine as a pill you take, but no, medicine is a whole package, right? A whole thing. And where does your music fit in like the healing part of it? You know, talk to me about like the way it gets inside of you and kind of like puts things right.
So it's like when you're playing, you know, and you're listening to this. I mean, especially us, and I know all the guys do the same thing, is we're almost at another level when we're playing this music. It like resonates inside your body, and you can feel it, and you can feel the energy and the power building up inside you. And it just, you know, for instance, I mean, my blood pressure dropped after I played. So it's like, it's working on your soul. It's working from the inside out. It's the drum, the music, singing to the, you know, basically to the creator and the people. It gives you that feeling of well-being. You know, the song that you played earlier, the Daybreak song, and that's a medicine song. It's daybreak, and you know, I'm greeting the creator in the morning at first light, you know, and it's, you know, the drum's the heartbeat of the nation, you know. Thank you, Tamara.
Just right there. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you know, and I just love it, and being able to share it with everybody is even, you know, even more beautiful. I miss traveling and playing for everybody right now. It's like,
we all miss getting out, brother. Like we got to go tell stories, but this is what we got to do till we can get out.
Well, stories will keep it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. Jenny has a question. What's the emblem on your drum?
Well, there were two drums. The older drum had the eagle on it, and it has like my shirt right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
And you see the pipe right here. So that was my name was the eagle, and then the medicine with the pipe. So it was kind of symbolic of the Eastern medicine, and so we kind of went with that label. And then I have a smaller drum. My drum is the Black Eagle drum. That's my personal drum.
Right.
And a lot of times we had to take that to Europe because the other drums were just too big to be transporting and everything,
Yeah, no, they're huge. It's people saw some of those videos. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's healing, Thank you, Jeremiah. It heals us all, man. We've all played together. He's another drummer as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of my brother drummers out there and sister singers, when we all get together, it's magic. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 of us drumming together at a powwow. I mean, just amazing stuff. The camaraderie, and you just love it.
What happens at a powwow for those of us that have never been to one? What's it like? What's the vibe like?
So the powwows really it's an upbeat. It's a community thing where all the people come together, basically to celebrate and to go out in a circle and be together, and we start that powwow off with a grand entry, and the grand entry is bringing, all the tribes out, in their specific regalia, because in a powwow, you're going to see tribal people from all different nations come out at a powwow, because they live all over the country. So we come to their powwows, they go to ours, and it's a sharing of medicine, sharing of the people, the round dances, gathering people together and everything. And then, of course, the welcome dance. That's, welcoming the people, welcome to the circle of life, and then we have our, traditional dances, and, we have the pipe dance sometimes, and then we have the intertribals for everybody to come out and enjoy themselves, and the powwow is a social gathering. It's a beautiful thing for all the people, and of course we have the traders there. The traders come in and they really support the powwows. Without those traders, we wouldn't be able to have the powwows, because they're supporting it financially. And, as an MC, I'm always telling people, please buy something from the vendors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. They really are the part of the backbone, as well as, the powwow committees and the people that run the powwows. But without them,
Yeah. And this is something anybody can go to? Anybody can attend? Or
yeah, anybody can attend. Some powwows charge money, some don't. The powwows that I do, we don't charge an entrance fee. I want people to see the culture. It's very hard because you don't have that income coming in. The bigger powwows, they have to.
Yeah.
They have to. We're not a huge powwow, but we get a lot of people. I mean, we usually do a couple thousand people a day in the powwow in September in Providence. And then maybe 1,000 people over the weekend when we do the powwow in Woonsocket on the Blackstone. And, all good people come there. Everybody gets along. We have a good time. And I think everybody goes out of there either learning something or feeling something magical in their lives, And
yeah,
I mean, that's the best part ever, is seeing the little kids out there and learning. And we invite everybody in. And then, of course, we honor the veterans. The veterans are a big part of our ceremony, coming out there. There's a special dance for the veterans, only for the veterans. And they go out there and they dance, and so it's just a magical ride with everybody.
Yeah. And so is there any scheduled right now? I mean, can you schedule them, or are they still happening in September?
I mean, everything's like shut down right now. I mean, there are some virtual powwows going on, I believe.
Yeah.
And I may try to digitize something as well and see if I can do, a mock powwow, a smaller size one, and put it out there for people, just to keep everybody going.
Yeah.
And, I've been running a Facebook Live show with, I started off with indigenous music from different people. A lot of friends that I've met out there and stuff have sent their music to me, and we play indigenous music of all types, even West African. I have a West African guy. I have some First Nation people from Canada we play, and locals around here. So I mean, I try to like expose all that stuff,
Yeah.
and
I love the things that the commonality you find, right? Like as a musician, you find the groove together, right? Like that's what music is, right? And we mentioned earlier about the heartbeat. So a friend of mine who's a musician, he was explaining when you listen to club music, like in the dance clubs, the rate of the drum, which is computer generated, by the way, like on those dance songs, right?
Yeah,
it's specific to the elevated heart rate of your heartbeat, right? Like it's dum 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 thump, right? It's supposed to feel like an elevator. Yeah, and they didn't invent that, right? Like that's been around for thousands and thousands of years, right?
The drum's the first one,
Yeah.
And it's the basis of everything. If you listen, even in those, I love that, the funk music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, it comes from tribal roots.
Yeah.
It's all tribal roots.
And what I love about the drum, and this may sound like I'm making a joke or something. I'm not. It's not really a musical instrument. It doesn't play notes, right? It's a beat. Like, so the musical instrument is Chief Black Eagle, is the singers. Yeah. The drum is not one, but it's critical. It's absolutely critical. So it's this thing that's part of, like, every song you've ever heard, like on the radio, has got a drum in it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But of itself, it's not an instrument per se. Yeah. But it's the beat. And and I think that's what I like about your music is you strip it down. You don't need basses and guitars. You can do it if you want, but like it's about like that heartbeat. And as Tamara is saying, right, like all the way back to the womb. That's the first sound you ever heard was a beat.
Absolutely, Tamara.
when you were in mommy's tummy, right? Like that's the first thing you ever heard was a beat.
Yep.
And we still hear it, and I think that's why it pulls into that primal part of us. Tracy wants to know. Listen, Tracy, I would love to try to remember to post when the powwows and stuff are coming, but I think your best bet is to go ahead and follow Chief Black Eagle on Facebook, and he'd be way better to keep you informed of what's going on than me.
I definitely will,
because I'll forget.
Anybody, I'll just hit me up and I'll keep you updated. Hopefully we get back to normal at some point during this year.
We will, right? I mean, and there'll be a new normal, and we'll figure it out, because that's what we do. We're innovative. There's been plagues before. There will be again, and we will figure it out, because that's because we have no choice, man. That's what we all got to do. We got to get through this stuff, and we're going to do it together, and we're going to learn a few things along the way. Take an opportunity to check out some culture and some music you may not have thought you'd check out before, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of beautiful. So we're running out of time. What I'd love to do, can I just play that 30-second clip at Anawan Rock one more time, and then we'll say goodbye? All right, we'll say goodbye on the other side of it. Hold tight. All right. Sounds so good, man. And I'm telling you, folks, I wish you could have been there with us, hearing it there at Anawan Rock. Man, you knocked trees down. Yeah, I mean,
it was awesome.
it was I played didgeridoo, Chief Black Eagle. You may not know that about me, but
I didn't know you played didgeridoo. We gotta do something.
Done and done. When you need me on your next album,
definitely.
You know how to get in touch. Like, you know what this song needs, guys? Wait. A didgeridoo. I know a guy.
Yeah, that's tribal too.
Yeah, it is tribal. That's Aborigines down in Australia. That's where I got it. Got in Australia.
Yeah. Australia, nice place, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Chief Black Eagle, thank you for joining us. Thank you for everybody that is coming by, and for your friends. Check them out. Check out the Eastern Medicine Singers. If you ever get to see them perform live, run, don't walk. Especially here in New England, you guys are doing something somewhere. As soon as we're allowed again.
Yeah.
But Yeah, buy the CDs to keep you tied over until you get to see it for real.
Absolutely. And as we say in my language, Aquani, Khan, Hanashak, Nakis Koetatium, Wakianak, Nimat. Peace and farewell until we meet again, my friends.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Take care, folks. Please, until next time, take it easy.